In Joshua 1:9, God gives a great promise of encouragement to his servant Joshua. The record reads for us God speaking to Joshua and saying, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Of course, this is taking place at a very important transition period for Israel. Moses has died. The people are on the east side of the Jordan River getting ready to cross into the promised land. Joshua has been designated by Moses to be his successor, to lead the people into the promised land. God, in fact, a little later on in the book of Joshua, says, "I will begin to exalt you in the eyes of the people as I exalted Moses, so that they will trust and believe in you as they did in him." So Joshua now is the leader of the nation under God. And as he's beginning to get the people ready to go into the land of Canaan that God has promised them, he gives Joshua and us this powerful statement of encouragement. "Have I not commanded you? Therefore, be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid. Don't be discouraged." Why not? Because the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go.
That is awesome. And it's said over and over again in Joshua chapter 1 in different ways. Verse 6, God says, "Be strong and of good courage, for to this people you shall divide as an inheritance the land which I swore to their fathers to give to them." There's all these, as you said, be strong and courageous because this is happening, this is going to happen, I will do this. I just imagine Joshua listening to God speaking to him and saying, "Be strong and of good courage." Verse 7, "Only be strong and very courageous, that you may observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded you. Do not turn away from it to the right hand nor to the left hand." So as you mentioned, it's just beautifully summarized in verse 9. That is the perfect place that we go to. You see that passage, Joshua 1:9, written somewhere. You need to remember strength and courage, and it is directly tied to God and what he has revealed. And as Joshua speaks some of these things to the people at the end of chapter 1, in verse 18, the people say to him, "Whoever rebels against your command and does not heed your words and all that you command him, he shall be put to death. Only be strong and of good courage." That's how that chapter ends. There's nothing left for Joshua to do except be
strong and courageous. Yeah. Well, it just occurred to me, and this is so consistent with all of the great figures that God puts in leadership positions in the Old Testament. Joshua has long been preparing for this. He had long been the faithful right-hand man for Moses. Early on, Joshua stood by Moses and assisted him, defended him, did his bidding. It was Joshua and Hur, if I believe correctly, that in the first great battle against the Amalekites, they stood by Moses to hold his hands up.
That's right.
So that the Israelites could prevail. It was Joshua who, with Caleb, were the only two that came out of the first look at the promised land and gave a good report, saying, "The Lord is with us." So this is really nothing new to Joshua. The Lord's with us. We are well able to take the land. He said we can do it. It doesn't matter that there are giants there. God is with us. All we have to do is obey. Well, the people didn't want to at that time, but now Joshua has reached the culmination. All those years of training and preparation, now he's being reminded, in a sense, just like you were courageous way back the first time.
That's right.
20 years or 40 years ago, be courageous again, because now you will take the people in. They will follow you. And as you just mentioned there at the end of the passage, they declare to Joshua, "Yes, we are ready. This time we're going in, and we're going to follow you, and woe to anybody who doesn't obey you."
That's right.
Because you are the leader now. We follow you. We're going to do your bidding because God has chosen you. He's going to work through you. You've demonstrated your leadership and your faithfulness. We've spent 20 years getting ready, or 40 years. I don't know why I think it's because of the age of 20 years old and up that was condemned. But here is that generation now that has spent its time in the wilderness getting ready to do what their fathers would not do. We're going to go into the land that God has promised to give us. Our part is to trust him and go take it.
Yeah.
But they're going to face enemies. Jericho is a powerful city. The Canaanites are a warlike people. The cities are walled. And yet God has already prepared the way. We're told in Joshua that the people of the land are filled with dread because we've heard that the God who led these people out of Egypt and destroyed the country of Egypt is now here. And they're getting ready to cross the Jordan, which is really Canaan's last line of defense. But here in this great transition period, this great step in Joshua's life, the constant reminder is, don't look at that and be discouraged by it. God is with you. Draw strength and courage from that. And when the people see that, they'll have strength and courage in you. They'll trust you. They'll follow you. And so if we face a great transition in life, or there are scary enemies in front of us, or a daunting challenge, remember the words to Joshua. Be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid. Don't be discouraged, because the Lord your God is with you wherever you go.